Ayo, what is up everyone? It is the Alpha J of the Alpha J Show. I'm gonna paint a scenario for you all. Let's say you wake up and have your favorite food. Then you go and you watch your favorite episode from your favorite TV show, and you go throughout your day listening to your favorite band, and play your favorite video game, or read your favorite book. And at night, you watch your favorite movie and have your favorite snack. Now imagine every day being like this. Maybe at some point, the snack becomes a little less special, the song becomes a little bit more annoying, and that small problem in the movie becomes more apparent. The reason I bring up this scenario is that even if you experience some of your favorite things every day, it loses its charm, value, or what made it your favorite at some point. And no one would want to lose the appreciation of their favorite things, unless it's like tobacco or people who dislike pandas. I'm assuming that many people may dislike this immediately based off of the title, and that's warranted, I guess. I know what video I'm making, and I can take it. This is not a defense of Teen Titans Go being aired too much, but more of a distinction that we as a community should make, in my opinion. Overplaying Teen Titans Go is not the problem. Overplaying any show in general is a problem, and we need to address this and separate it from the show. Teen Titans Go started off well. The show had an innocent charm to it, with episodes like Driver's Ed and Legendary Sandwich. These episodes wanted to make you laugh and tell a simple story. Now let's assume that Teen Titans Go stayed on this path, which it clearly didn't in my opinion. Would you agree that Teen Titans Go could have worked in small doses? I do. You see, the higher demand for Teen Titans Go, whether it stems from the fans of the show or being fabricated from the Cartoon Network executives, did cause the show to have a slightly unfair perspective. Since it's pushed to the top, like YouTube, WWE, and McDonald's, it's usually the center of much criticism and for logical reasoning. More eyes and more brains processing the ideals behind it. So because of this, Teen Titans gets more criticism across the board than, let's say, Pig, Goat, Banana, Cricket, because the latter wasn't pushed to Nick's forefront. You can say that since Teen Titans Go is pushed to the forefront, besides the criticism about the show, the criticism of it being a cash cow is warranted because Cartoon Network believes that this is the golden boy of children's entertainment. Then go after Cartoon Network because without them, Teen Titans Go would be where Mighty Magiswords and Powerpuff Girls are now. I would bet my top dollar that another series would have replaced Teen Titans Go, and a lot of the focus of hate would shift over to that particular series. Hypothetically, of course. I could be proven wrong. All I'm saying is that although the Cleveland Show, American Dad, and Family Guy all air under the Seth MacFarlane name, Family Guy is the center because it's more popular and easier to criticize, despite all three shows having bad episodes. Now you can say that Family Guy has worse bad episodes, so to speak, than American Dad and Cleveland Show. But in my opinion, you can't deny that overexposure has something to do with it as well. Overexposure affects the way jokes work. Let's assume that you liked waffles from Teen Titans Go, for example. Because of the way it's structured, and the fact that they say waffles every 10 or so seconds, throughout the entire 11-minute airtime, every time you see that episode, it's going to get less and less funny. A lot of humor is based on unpredictability. If you've seen the episode before, you cannot then be re-surprised by the joke, which is why re-surprise isn't a word. The best you can do is add a spin on it or assign it to a meme, but you're only adding an expiration date over an expiration date, so to speak. Also because Teen Titans Go hides behind songs, throwing stones at critics, quote-unquote jokes, and their simple but bright and quick-moving animation, they can excuse the lack of quality in writing timeless episodes. I would rather watch season 1 of SpongeBob than the latest season of Teen Titans Go, because I know the writing in the first season of SpongeBob is much better. Teen Titans Go opts to not care about writing as long as they are funny to the children they pander to. And with this logic, playing them more is only going to be less effective in the long run because of what I explained before about repeating jokes. And thus, the children they pander to will get bored and possibly turn the channel. This overexposure of Teen Titans Go also forces episodes like The Fourth Wall, Return of Slade, and the Bottle episode to appear, where they address critics of the episode. I speculate they make these because they have no other ideas, or that the episode's content, in their opinion, is meaningless unless they have the songs, quote-unquote jokes, and bright animation that they hide behind. I'm also going to assume the former. If this is the case, Cartoon Network's anonymous stance on this only makes me assume that they have no problem with these episodes. These particular episodes have been out for months, and I've seen them multiple times. Due to this, I can only come to the conclusion that Teen Titans Go can attack critics and have said platform to overplay ridiculous attempts at an argument to millions who at the end of the day don't care and just want to see good animation. I do fully stand by that if Teen Titans Go was not the center of attention, people would not care too much. Case in point, Pig, Goat, Banana Cricket, Uncle Grandpa, Mike Tyson's Mysteries, Kick Buttowski, all these shows that pale in comparison in search ranking compared to SpongeBob, Johnny Test, Adventure Time, Family Guy, Phineas and Ferb, and Teen Titans Go. All shows that at one point were the focal point of their respective networks. I'd like to highlight a show similar to the realm of Teen Titans Go, the reboot of the Powerpuff Girls. Ask yourself, would this get more, the same, or less hate if it was aired just as much as Teen Titans Go? Then ask yourself, would Teen Titans Go get less, more, or the same amount of hate if it was aired about as much as the Powerpuff Girls, which at the moment is less than Teen Titans Go? So although the magnifying glass is on everyone's favorite show, the fact that it airs all the time increases awareness of it and its existence and keeps interest, praise, and criticism for it high. The latest of that being positive or negative. Now that I explained why overexposure hurts Teen Titans Go in that specific case, I want to give more of a broader explanation on why it hurts any show, no matter if it's good or bad. Steven Universe is not perfect. Star vs. the Forces of Evil is not perfect. The Loud House is not perfect. But these particular shows receive great acclaim despite their problems. Now, Teen Titans Go has many problems, but even the problems that might be less known are magnified times 1,000, exaggerating of course, because the show airs all the time. That double-edged sword is not unique to the reboot, but rather any show. The more you see something, the more opportunities you have to take it in and think about it. The more you think about it, the more good and bad things you may see. Have you ever had a moment when you said something and later in the day, you notice how idiotic or foolish that was to say? Imagine doing this moment all the time. The more a show airs, the more problems become noticeable. Now think in terms of a child. Since many detractors of me and what I do tend to dumb children down to their mere stereotypes for argument's sake, let's suspend our intelligence to those stereotypes and think like that, despite it being very, very false. If children do think that simple across the board, why would you hammer a point about a bad episode or a bad series? Wouldn't said children get the point sooner? Now some may ask why I focus on it if it airs a bad or average episode. The result is still the same. If it's a very funny episode, like I explained before, jokes get old. This being expedited if said episode relies on that being its focus. And if it's a well-crafted story-based episode, you run the risk of making the story boring. Things can be great, beneficial, or plain not bad and still be boring. Isn't that right, Oxygen? But let's assume that this series has produced nothing but great episodes. Even that isn't enough to justify playing it as much as Teen Titans Go does nowadays. On a sheer mathematical level, we have 24 hours and assume 8 of those you use for school and another 8 for sleeping. You are left with 8 hours of cartoon time, assuming that you don't do anything else, at least on the weekdays. And playing one show a disproportionately amount, or a crap ton for you cool folk, means that you are left with little other options if you want to watch something on that network. And if you like the series, that's great, but you miss out on other series that you may like or that you do like and just never get a chance to see. And if you don't, then you're in many people's positions when it comes to Teen Titans Go or modern SpongeBob. From a business standpoint, this may run out contracts faster if they sign a specific amount of times to be aired. And unfortunately, not every show gets renewed. And looking at Cartoon Network specifically, for example, they aren't exactly hopping out of their chair to air reruns of shows that don't air new episodes. This would lead to shows rushing past you faster than Nintendo claiming every video that uses their intellectual property. And to people like me, who have lives outside of watching Cartoon Network all day, believe me I do, and plus, I mean, it airs Teen Titans Go a lot, why would I? We could miss a lot of new episodes, or an entire series overall, and with little space for airing other episodes besides the one that you air way too much of, there's a chance I may never see it. This may lead to waiting for the DVD to come out to watch these episodes that Cartoon Network fails to air, which may benefit the company, is a shady business practice, and no one who respects the blood, sweat, tears, practice, motivation, failures, and art that goes into a well-crafted 11 or 22 minutes of animation would agree that this scenario is morally permissible. The other option would be the internet. If no DVD is available, and since the obvious DMCA claims on said full episodes that people upload for others' enjoyment is out of the window for perfectly valid and legal reasons, it does make me question how much cartoon is left in Cartoon Network, how much nickels matter to Nickelodeon, and how much well, you get the point. Other sites outside of YouTube may be malicious, and your activity could be tracked by your internet service provider, which may lead to other legal troubles. All of this in the name of love, for wanting to see the episodes that we missed because Cartoon Network was airing one particular series all the time. As a whole, overexposure drives away the uninterested and bores the core fans in terms of long-term effects.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. What are you suggesting? We are already stuck in a bottle, which is boring. And instead of coming up with a new song, you just want to flash back to old songs we already know?
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
Boring!
However, I do want to give a counter argument to what I'm saying. One argument that comes up for why Teen Titans Go is aired so much is because there's a demand for it. We all know companies strive to make money. The same goes for Cartoon Network. But this is somewhat like putting your eggs in one basket. Not exactly the case, but we do see a bit of Gumball, Clyde with a Chance of Meatballs, and Shrek, so yay? And sometimes they do other shows, but if it isn't airing new episodes or revolving around airing new episodes, consider it irrelevant. Now, the average millionaire has multiple revenue streams. Considering YouTube nowadays, maybe I should start a merchandise line. But why have one show generating so much ratings and money when you can have more? Other shows have value, and the internet is a powerful tool. That's why you use it to pander, right? I'm looking at you, Nickelodeon. The internet has become somewhat of a necessity, provided you live in a developing or highly developed country. The amount of money that goes into services like YouTube, Etsy, Patreon, Fiverr, and other freelance or hobbies is a crazy amount. And seeing all of that potential money going away for a few more hours of Teen Titans Go, in my opinion, doesn't seem smart business-wise. What's your plan B, Nickelodeon, if SpongeBob, the brand, decides to split away and pay whatever for the breach of contract? The Loud House may keep the lights on, but not the solving bubbles in your hot tub. And for those of you who don't understand, in layman's terms, if SpongeBob makes so much and allows for so much room for error with other shows, without it, you'd probably have to change plans drastically because of all of the eggs you put into that one basket. And I don't want Nickelodeon to die. And sure, it won't if SpongeBob stops airing, but in this scenario, you'd imagine Nickelodeon having a giant hole in terms of, well, everything. Also, the cost of airing something as profitable as SpongeBob all the time and needing new episodes all the time has the expense of the rotten seasons that we all loathe today. Or at least most of us. So the money made from the demand has tarnished the reputation and respect for the series, which also tarnishes the likelihood of spending money to support the brand. That goes for any cash cow. So although the most profitable show gets it all that glitters isn't gold. Also, because a show is played less doesn't mean it's less valuable. If what everyone says about this generation has the slightest amount of validity, about being whiny and impatient because of today's technology and upbringing, then introducing a bit of delayed gratification can help with that. Another counter argument is that there is more money if you play the most popular show. Also, this is true. These cash cows are popular, yes, whether naturally or artificially, but other less popular shows still make tons of money. Look at YouTube. People well under 1 million subscribers wrestlers make enough to work full time. Sure, it's easier the more subs and views you have, but it isn't impossible. Using that analogy with other media such as TV, other shows can also make tons of money. Despite not being the most popular show, I also want to use the analogy of wrestling because I'm a bit of a fan. Some wrestlers are very popular and make millions. Some wrestlers are semi-popular and make hundreds of thousands. Some wrestlers aren't really popular and make tens of thousands, or less. Now, every wrestler cannot be The Rock or John Cena, but that shouldn't be the black and white line between investing and tossing aside. In fact, that shouldn't even be in the conversation considering, like I said, the average millionaire has multiple revenue streams. In fact, that's probably why Nickelodeon is still afloat despite what they did with SpongeBob. Just like in wrestling, many wrestlers make money. Overusing one is a recipe for disaster. So with this in mind, overplaying one series can also run the risk for disaster. There's also the argument of artistic integrity versus financial gain, but I don't want to cross that path in its entirety in this video, but I do want to briefly touch upon it. I'm on a spectrum leaning towards financial gain versus artistic integrity. I'm not fully corporate, but I believe at some point, if you want to do something full time, your artistic ideologies shouldn't come in the way of making money or the program that you are on. At the end of the day, the product that you are showing on Cartoon Network or Nickelodeon realistically isn't going to be in the same realm as the high art that people generally want from these shows. Now, yes, you should put your best foot forward when you can, but good art is not only mostly subjective, but also of those who wish to consume. Not everyone wants Discovery Channel, but it serves a greater value in class than, let's say, the Kardashians, which is much more popular. That doesn't mean that the Kardashians are more important, but the money is there, despite lower artistic integrity, at least in my opinion. It is hard to tread this territory without getting into a huge discussion on it, so I'll leave that for a later video. Just know that I lean towards the financial gain, but not enough to sacrifice a whole bunch of my artistic integrity. The last counter argument I want to talk about is the if it's good, then it's good argument. There is the argument that if Cartoon Network, Nick, or Disney aren't going broke by airing their cash cows so much, then why should they stop? Well, I have two reasons why that's pure garbage. First of all, is it really that good, or is it functional? Just because something works doesn't mean that it's good or the right thing by default. I can attempt to eat cereal with a shovel. Just because it can work doesn't mean that it's the right way to eat cereal. The same logic applies here. In fact, take a look at junk food. It's sold to a mass audience. Many people like it and many people don't. The quality generally is what it is, and nearly everyone knows it, although they aren't going to die right then and there from eating it. It's just not good for them to consume it in the long run. Airing SpongeBob all those years may have not killed Nickelodeon, but it certainly put Nick on a crutch for a very long time, that they are now only barely attempting to scrape themselves out of, just because it's good or great, or even the greatest of its era. Because of my last big point, overexposure hurting any show, it would never justify overplaying it. In fact, I don't even know what's worse. A new show with potential being totally overshadowed because a network is clutching onto an already proven to be great show, or a new show with potential being totally overshadowed because a network is clutching onto an already proven to be bad show. Ugh, a shudder just ran down my spine. One moment for all the shows that could have been big that networks didn't get behind because they were too busy clutching onto their cash cows. First of all, I feel as though I need to be the unofficial spokesperson for Teen Titans Go. I just want you all to know, on behalf of Teen Titans Go, and Cartoon Network, and Warner Bros., that Teen Titans Go makes money. It makes a lot of money. Cartoon Network doesn't have the mentality of, oh, you don't like Teen Titans Go, huh? Well, let's play it all throughout Thanksgiving. Oh, what are you gonna do, huh? What are you gonna do? How about 5 whole days of Teen Titans Go? Oh, I bet you don't like that. Oh, you want more, huh? How about throughout all Easter? Not to mention all of the hours that we already show you. They don't make money off of your misery. They don't care. They make money off of the people who like the show and people who just so happen to not switch a channel. They make money off of the merchandise. They make money off of the DVDs, but they do not make a significant amount of money off of your hate. Sure, a bad episode may attract more eyes, and therefore more ad revenue. See Return of Slade. But not enough to justify it being on. And let's face it, There is a big fan base for this show, but don't be mad at Teen Titans Go, instead be mad at Cartoon Network. There isn't a giant roundtable meeting where Teen Titans Go requests most of the airtime, and the people behind Shrek, Open Season, Cat in the Hat, and the Cloudy with a Chance of Meatball movie requesting the remaining table scraps. Sure, they signed contracts for this, but Cartoon Network has the last say. Don't confuse Teen Titans Go's platform for being powerful. Teen Titans Go is merely the gasoline in the engine that is Cartoon Network. It can easily be removed, and thus all of its power is removed. Cartoon Network is the engine, and therefore the direction it takes relies on the engine and the people behind it. I don't want to come off as a person who wants to fight against the machine, man. I just want everyone to pick their battles correctly. Teen Titans Go is a crappy show, at least in my opinion, but Cartoon Network and Warner Brothers back it up. We must learn how companies think before we determine who's really to blame. Again, I am not defending Teen Titans Go, nor am I defending its abundant airtime. Who wants to wake up to a Teen Titans Go episode? I'm just stating that overexposure as a whole is the problem, and Teen Titans Go overexposure throughout the years is just a small but relevant drop in the bucket of, well, stuff to complain on the internet. But let's talk marketing. Let's define a marathon. A show marathon generally means that the network will play a specific show significantly more than normal. To many of us, whether we like or dislike or hate or loathe the show, we are all self-aware that compared to other shows on Cartoon Network, Teen Titans Go is played significantly more than quote-unquote normal. So wouldn't that devalue when Cartoon Network decides to announce a Teen Titans Go marathon? At worst, you just rile up fans that already have a problem with the prioritized airing schedule, and at best, even if you are a fan, how can you really care? Cartoon Network has conditioned to many people that this is a favorite show of many, and I wouldn't be surprised if many people share the mindset of not knowing the difference between a marathon and regular Teen Titans Go frequency of airing. Oh wait, there is. Instead of having the table scraps left to carelessly play last decade's movies, you now have no scraps and have to sit back and watch Teen Titans Go all the time. I bet that will be great.
Dude, we're not gonna do this every day. This is just so we can catch up.
You know how aggressive our schedule is. Consider this a bit of a breather.
Let's play devil's advocate though. As a fan of Teen Titans Go, you would be happy, right? Well, let me ask you something. Scenario-based fan of TTG, do you respect the amount of time and effort it goes into taking the voice actors, writers, and animators, and all the other roles that generally go undercredited to make this show? If you respect the hours it took for all of the staff to do what they do, then you have to agree that Overplaying Teen Titans Go will only increase demand for newer Teen Titans Go episodes at such a rate that lower quality episodes will come out and more stress will be apparent. It's like a big tree. One of those trees your mom and dad carved their name into so you know it's old and thick. Now, you can't keep pumping it with fertilizer and other enhancers because at some point it will bleed dry. Teen Titans Go is not immune to this, and they have a lot of episodes that show that. I'm sure if the staff could, they'd confirm that it does get stressful in some or many of their episodes. If they could have a few more hours or days to spend on it, they would. So you have to respect that good art takes time. And even a show as simple as Teen Titans Go doesn't have as little effort as we exaggerate it to be. Even a show as bad as Teen Titans Go can make a good episode with time. But if the demand and pressure is too high, we get crap like TV Night. And to those who would pull the "it's just for kid" card, I want to use that excuse of an argument against itself. If it wouldn't matter if Teen Titans Go is overexposed because kids don't care either way, or because kids like it, then let them like it, then for the former, if kids don't care either way, the overexposure is self-defeating, and for the latter, that can easily be thrown back. What about the kids who like other shows that don't get played too much? Which leads back to the internet or DVD situation. Also, you might want to ramp that up because not all kids have access to things such as credit cards or money. Overexposure should be stopped from any show, whether good or bad. The frequency of a show is irrelevant to how much we may like or dislike it. Things that are frequent that we like are like news, talk shows, and sports. Even daily vloggers for the few of you. Things that are frequent that we don't like are deaf war, pain, and illness. Things that are infrequent that we like are holidays, birthdays, and elections, for the most part, I think, and natural phenomena. Things that are infrequent that we don't like are close ones that die, animal extinctions, and shows being cancelled. So this would lead me to believe that frequency doesn't shift anything higher because that's irrelevant. In fact, the decreasing of frequent airings helps other shows, which helps the overall network a lot more, for the various reasons stated earlier. Kids won't forget if it's on 1 or 2 hours a day. In fact, Teen Titans Go, the fact that you exist proves at some level that kids don't forget. The fact that you are a reboot means that someone, somewhere, had an interest in this show after seeing it and did not forget it. Now, many of us are kids who knew about the original that also knew about the sequel. We don't forget. If we did, you wouldn't have made the show. So the fact that Cartoon Network airs you so much means that they're either misinformed or don't care. And I hope it's the former. Adventure Time is still popular today, which is why you still work with them. Well, that, and because the crew is close with Steven Universe, I think. Shall I also bring up the success in Finding Dory? But let's get to the solutions. I like to bring solutions to the table when making these type of videos. Besides Teen Titans Go being pushed back, how about the Cartoon Network app? Why not show more Teen Titans episodes there? Because anyone who has cable can watch the show there. Use your resources wisely. Time is one of them. You can't buy it, you can't sell it, you can't trade it in. Can't trade it out, if that makes sense. So make sure those 24 hours you have Cartoon Network isn't about a crime-fighting team that shouts waffles and complains to their detractors. Why have one show rated an A and the rest Fs, when you can have strong B's and C's? So at the end of the day, the main takeaway from this is that overplaying Teen Titans Go is not the problem of Cartoon Network, but the bad scheduling, which involves overplaying any show, is the business practice that makes the problem. I just want to clarify that going forward. I want you guys to understand that overplaying any show would produce a largely similar result. It doesn't matter if it's good or bad. So let's not mistake the fact that Cartoon Network is overplaying a bad show and the fact that it's bad, but the fact that they're overplaying a show in the first place. Just a show. Let's remove the good or bad label. I don't think it should be perfect proportions, of course. The more popular one should get played more, but variety is the true spice of life, and eating waffles every day has gotten me quite full and tired of it. So this was an impromptu video that I wanted to make for you guys. I wanted to put it in between the two top 10 lists that I'm making. I just really wanted to clarify that overplaying of any show is the true problem, and Teen Titans Go is just a show, and that any other show would be in the same position Teen Titans Go is in right now. So catch me next time when I do the top 10 worst things that I've ever reviewed. As always, I hope your time is well spent, and Alpha out.